One of the most important things you can add to your vehicle if you go off-roading in groups is a good rear-facing chase light. This makes you visible to your friends in thick dust, fog, and rain. I think I've found the cleanest and classiest way to add a chase light to the stock bumper of any third-gen Toyota Tacoma. I'll explain how and why I came up with this setup, show you how useful it is on an off-road expedition, and how to install this same setup yourself. I'll have links and other helpful info in the description below. Also, if you find this cool and helpful, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned to the end of this video for a teaser for a 600-mile overland journey that I just completed that you can watch on the channel very soon. Now, I've been wanting to install a chase light into my rear bumper since the moment I got this truck. Did a lot of research on YouTube, other places, trying to get ideas. Sometimes people mount small lights here. Obviously, you can just replace the bumper, or you can mount lights to your roof rack that face backwards. Now, all these are good ideas and work for other people, but they just had complexity issues or cost issues that kept me from doing a light install until now. While off-roading with my friend Nate, I was inspired by his Jeep Wrangler with an AEV rear bumper that has a chase light mounted to the right of the license plate, just like you see here. Up until that point, I always thought you have to have two lights, right? It has to be symmetrical. But with his truck, that single light was plenty bright enough to get the job done. And just like that Jeep, the Tacoma's rear bumper has one magical empty spot without any sensors or anything else in the way. I then found this light from Dynamics. It's the Stage Series 2-inch Pro flush-mounted LED pod light. I looked up the specs online and then did some measuring and discovered something awesome. The shape of this light almost perfectly matches the trailer wiring hookup over here on the driver's side of the Tacoma's bumper. And it's even more perfect because there is metal directly behind this thin plastic in this spot. The only thing that needs to be slightly moved is the factory wire loom for the rear lights. The resulting install is extremely secure and looks awesome. Dare I say it, it kind of seems like it was always meant to be this way. So let's jump to an off-roading demo of before having this light and then after, and then we'll go to the shop and I'll show you how to do all this yourself. Man, when you're going with the dust going with the sun up there, like I can't see a thing. I know that there's a road and I know that there's a Jeep and a Chevy up there, but can't see it. Hey Chris, thanks for turning on your chase lights. Those chase lights are awful to look at night, but right now in all this dust and with the sun in my face, it's a lifesaver. It just kind of, it's like a little like, go this way, come this way, follow the light. There it is. Hey Chris, guess what?
What's up, buddy?
I did something yesterday.
You do yesterday. That's a light!
You shamed me successfully into putting a chase light into my truck.
You want to know what, man? I can see you perfectly.
Aww. All right, we're back in the shop. Time to get our Dynamics chase light installed in the bumper here on my Tacoma. I'm really excited about this. Now, let's go over the parts really briefly. So we have the Stage Series C2, the 2-inch pod light. This is the Pro Flood version. Finding this part made all of this happen. I'm really excited about that. Beyond the light, we also have the 4-pin heavy-duty wiring harness from Dynamics. Now this is, we're gonna have to do some surgery on this wiring harness because it's set up for 2 lights, not 1. So we're gonna delete that. We're also going to use that extra wiring to extend the lead to the light because this is not quite long enough. I did some measuring before we got started. I think we're looking at about 18 to 20 feet of length that we need, and we have, I think, about 15. To use the cool features of the backlighting that light has, which this is a 3-way switch from Anytime backup camera. And beyond that, we have some supplies from Amazon and the hardware store. We have the soldering butt connectors, various different types of heat shrink, flex tubing. So let's take a look at the back. To begin the install, I first cut out the supplied template for where I'll need to drill mounting holes and cut an access hole. I then measured and taped the template in place on my bumper. I used zip ties to make sure the wiring loom behind this spot was well out of the way. This single tab will need to be removed so the light can fit. My Dremel with a couple different attachments made quick work of cutting the access hole in the plastic. The metal behind the plastic is more difficult, but not too bad. While cutting the metal, protect the plastic with painter's tape. I first used my drill and a cobalt drill bit to mark the edges of the hole. I then used a compact reciprocating saw and short metal cutting blade to make the straight cuts. I cleaned up the edges using a pneumatic die grinder.
Oh, that looks so good.
Once the fit was just right, I taped everything off and painted the metal to prevent rust. The included mounting hardware for the light was too short, so I used some longer Allen head bolts from the hardware store.
All right, let's perform surgery on a wiring harness. So this plugs into the relay, and we've got our power to the battery, and then we have our 2 leads to the back. Is I'm gonna open up this sheathing a little bit, which I'm a little sad to do, but I'm gonna have to do it. Cut it back a little bit, delete one of these, and then extend it on to the other one. And of course I cut myself. Okay, just so we're not confused, I'm gonna delete this now. So I was nervous because I saw 2 blue wires. This is the lead going off to the switch. This is the lead going back to the 1 remaining light. And I'm like, oh, we got an extra blue wire going to the switch. Oh no. It's okay. It was just spliced right there. So we just need to resplice that ourselves, and then we're gonna be fine. We already deleted the extra ground. Now I need to delete the extra power, and we're done. Before finalizing everything, I want to just make sure that the light works. So, well, I hear the relay make it click, so that's good. Yeah, buddy. Ooh, she's bright. All right, so everything works, which is awesome. I'm gonna switch to montage mode. We're just gonna secure the wiring along the frame and then connect to the battery, and then we'll do our switch.
I used 1/2-inch flex tubing to protect the wiring all the way back to the light. I ran the wiring along the frame and zip tied it to the factory wire loom. This can be tricky, but just take your time and be patient. A few spots are very tight, so I had to disconnect and then reconnect the waterproof wiring hookup at the light in the rear.
Wow, this is hilarious. The wiring was just barely long enough. And by barely long enough, I mean barely long enough, but we still have plenty of slack, so I mean, it's literally the perfect length. So we go there, boop, ba-doop, ba-doo, boop, up through there, back, over there, over the gas tank, and then back down right here all the way to the engine bay. That was the hardest part. The rest of it was easy. That wasn't. With the wiring run to the back, we're in the home stretch now. I just need to connect power to the battery and ground to the chassis, and then we'll run our switch. I'll show you how that's hooked up. It's super simple. So coming in from our diodynamics wiring, we have 3 colors. We have red, which is 12 volt. We have yellow, which is the main beam wire, and then a blue wire, which is the backlight wire. Out of the back of the switch, we have red for 12 volt, black for ground, green for high out, orange for low out, blue for a backlight 12 volt, which we're not going to be using, and gray for a backlight ground, again, which we're not going to be using. So blue goes to orange, red goes to red, green or yellow goes to green, and blue goes to nothing, but I capped this off in case I ever can do backlighting, but for now, I'm not gonna worry about it. For my use, this chase light setup is perfect. Let me know in the comments down below if you like this or if you think another option would be better. Thanks for watching. God bless all of you. Don't forget to do it yourself and subscribe right now because this video is coming real soon.